Fellow Southern Cameroonians, fellow Ambazonians, we are witnessing a massive exodus of Southern Cameroon youths from Southern Cameroon into French Cameroon. Usually the evacuation of a population is not good for guerrilla warfare. If you judge from the situation in Syria, Colombia, you can look for all examples around the world. We have to learn from our past mistakes. We adopted the roadmap of Maurice and threw away the architect, and we are finding ourselves in the situation that we have. This is a demonstration of poor leadership and lack of vision for the past 6 months since the adoption of Ayok Tabi. If we go around this route, even though our population is resilient, in the long term, we will only have to store and prolong the suffering of our people. First of all, I want to say that the whole concept of the SCNC, of the argument of the force of argument, not the argument of force, have been abandoned, and we have now adopted the theory of guerrilla tactics that has been preached by Chairman Dr. Akwanga Ebenezer of the SCNC, of the SCYL, and the theory of block by block by Comrade Ayaba Cho, Chairman Ayaba Cho. These two architects, we cannot just do away with them and try to adopt their policies and do with it the way we did with the roadmap of Maurice. That is not going to work. We have to learn from history. If we are now embracing the block by block and the guerrilla tactics of Ebenezer Akwanga and Ayaba Cho, and we want to kick away the architect, we are going to make the same mistake we did with the roadmap of Maurice. We call on the leadership to address this issue, to be all-inclusive. We have made all attempt to bring unity in this struggle, bringing all the leaders in the planned convention in Canada that was moved into Washington, and all we have seen in return is bad faith from the interim government. They have completely sabotaged all the initiative, and they now want to rule in a program of local government, or so-called tribal county by county, which is a recipe for disaster. The whole theory of guerrilla tactics and block by block is not based on tribal alignment. It's based on nationalism, the liberation of neighborhood, by inhabitants of a nation, by a people, not by a tribe. We call on the interim government to take upon its mandate to have a continuance, a president continuance of its mandate. Ayok Tabi had promised an educational system for the Southern Cameroon. We cannot have our students out of education for over 10 years if it takes 10 years to liberate our land. We don't use short-term policies to address long-term issues. We must implement the educational system promised to us by the mandate of Ayok Tabi. We cannot dump our educational system that was developed by Dr. Lees. We have to reinstate it, and we have to adopt fully the principle of block by block and guerrilla warfare without diluting it the way we diluted the Maurice roadmap. We must learn from history. We cannot sacrifice our people unduly without due consideration. There must be a roadmap. Our leadership must put its acts together and realize that it has the responsibility to unite the struggle. The interim government mandate is from Skakuf, and they have to solve the root cause of the divisions that we have. It is upon them. It's up to them to do that and provide that leadership. If they go around to set us up for an implosion by ruling this new government in ground zero, appointing ministers and governors and whatsoever in so-called local government in areas that they do not control, is going to be setting us up for destruction, for implosion. If the interim government is working for the people of Ambazonia, they should put Ambazonia first, not the organizations first. We call upon the interim government and the leadership of the struggle to address these issues urgently, to reconvene the leadership and have an all-inclusive strategy. We need all hands on deck.